everything that we're talking about and building profiles and databases of everyone and connections and who they talk to and all of that. So that's a big deal too.
And I don't think that everybody that works at FBI and these agencies, I don't think that every single one of them is dirty and that is part of the groups that are meeting at summer camps. I think that they are calling out stuff that they're seeing, and then it goes up to a certain level, and then somebody turns a blind eye and then pushes it back down. I think that also, from what one Fugel fan member said, one of their family members was in the agency and was trying to basically blow the whistle, even contacted news agencies, gave news agencies, they were excited to get the story, they ran it, they confirmed it, they looked at the stuff, they said that, wow, this is crazy, and I don't want to say any more about this because I don't want to get that person in trouble. They said that the news agency then basically called back and said, I'm sorry, we can't run this. No explanation, no nothing. When all of the three people they talked to, journalists, were excited, they were like, wow, this is giant. They go up to a certain level, they get told no. I'm telling you, this is happening on a massive level. I think that there are good people in all of these places, and they're trying to call it out to people. And it's a very obvious thing. All they have to do, though, is have these media companies say, no, they'll cover it just enough to put the seed in your head to where they want you to blame when it happens. And then it happens. And, of course, they have something pre-done. It's already, you know what it's at. I think there's so many operations going on right now. It's insane. I mean, we see all of these events in the last year, and you're like, how many of these were, other country involved or our country involved, our own versus our own. And I think it's getting really scary right now. And the majority of people are just in their own bubble. They're doing their 9 to 5 and going home, checking out, waking up and doing the same thing. But one day, I want to use Katrina as an example. And Katrina was absolutely terrifying. We had able-bodied told her story. People cried when we had her call in and she told her story because of how rough it was. Hurricane Katrina was such a failure and such a good example. And people have forgotten. People should not forget about Katrina. In Katrina, when it happened, that first 5 days, the response was absolutely horrible. People think that there's going to be some sort of, group or the police or the military that's going to come save you. You can look at the example of what happened to the Memorial Hospital. 45 people had to be euthanized because they could not get them out. They had no power. They had no communications. They had communications after a certain bit, but it was like they literally got to the point where they could not get people out. They had, National Guard there and people running around, but they weren't organized. And we are depending on them. Almost every big thing, and you can look just right now at the North Carolina event that just happened. No one is going to save you when these big events happen. And if it's not another country, it's going to be a natural disaster. And again, today with the 7.0 earthquake that just happened off the coast, people on the West Coast especially should be paying attention. But these agencies doing this, I believe that there are good people giving us a warning, and there are bad people giving us warning. They're basically telling us what's going to happen. They've been warning us about a massive cyber event that will be worse than CV. That's how they describe it. It's going to be like CV, but cyber. And if you realize how many things are connected to our internet, connected to all of our stuff, they can knock out almost every useful piece of infrastructure digitally. That is terrifying. Not being able, just from this little power outage I went through, it was like, gas stations, all these places, the stores near all of them threw away. One of them threw $180,000 worth of food away. One of them $150,000 worth of food away. That is an insane amount of food just to throw away. And why? Because they weren't ready for it. Even their backup generators weren't ready for it. Think about a store like that throwing away all their food, and then think about another 2 weeks after that, and then think about the fact that there is no store 10 miles beyond that does have power. Think about all of the stores going out of power. That is what they are actually doing. People are saying that any of us that are warning our friends and family, like, oh, sure, okay. but they've shown us that they are literally infiltrated into our power grid, into our water infrastructure, into everything. And they keep putting it out. Boop, 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 boop. And then when it happens, how are people going to be surprised by it? A long-term, look at what happened in just the first 5 days of Katrina. Think about what happens in 2 weeks. Think about what happens in the first month. Think about what they are saying about how long it would be out if we had our whole grid destroyed. If we have one EMP, we are going to be screwed anywhere from 12 to 24 months. And that's assuming that we have a supply chain that's running. If you don't have trucks if you don't have gas. You don't have gas if you don't have power. You don't have power if you have an EMP. That's why I think that people really need to just consider the long term here. Dex, go ahead.
Hey, just a heads up, we're on our second stream.
All right.
And everything's running good at the moment, and I gave you a note and up next. If you
Okay, thank you. So I do want to cover this earthquake here. The 7.0 earthquake reported off of Northern California coast. Again, this was very scary for some because they actually did a tsunami warning, and a lot of people were monitoring this. I know, Dex, you were monitoring it for at least an hour to make sure that there wasn't a tsunami. This thing's freaky.
Yeah, it certainly was, Adam. I mean, look, I went scrambling looking for webcams in that area. I didn't really know the area that well, but I did find one, probably near the bottom of that map on the screen, and was able to watch the beach there. And it was interesting because it was like some landslides, miniature landslides happening because it was on a cliff there during the time. But everybody was there watching this webcam to see if the tsunami would roll in. Fortunately, it didn't. After about an hour, they canceled it. But I think a lot of people, the tsunami alarms were going off. Certain colleges in San Francisco were telling people to evacuate. They have, everybody that has a plan was putting their plans in place because this wasn't, a watch. So not that they have a tsunami watch. It was a warning. There was literally a warning. Like they didn't know, and there could be a tsunami coming in, and they needed to be prepared for it. So everybody had to react. So it was certainly a wake-up call, I think, for lots of people around the coast there. As far as what the effects of a 7+ magnitude. Now, some were reporting this as a 7.3. I don't know if the official number is now a 7.0. It actually came in much lower. It was like a 6.2 when it was first reported. Then it jumped up to 7.3, I saw. So.
Now, when you did the map, did you actually do where the epicenter was? Or did you just do a general area?
It's a general area. It was somewhere off at that point.
Okay,
maybe a little bit. It's probably a little further out from there.
Okay, because it matters. This is the end of the Cascadia subduction zone. Do you see these? You can even see them in satellite images. This line right here, that's the end of the Cascadia subduction zone. You can actually see it underwater. You can see it from space. That whole crack right there is the North American plate where it meets. So that is terrifying. Right here, this is the end. If this whole thing snaps, imagine when we're all worried about war, about this, about that, and then something like that goes. And of course, many of you are like me, believe that they have the power and the inventions to be able to trigger something like that. And by they, it could be China, it could be Iran, it could be Russia, it could be something. I mean, the Don, last time he was in office, the reason they took out Soleimani, they said that they had a plan to hit the United States that made 2001 look like chicken feed. What kind of event would that be? What could they do? Would it be a nuke? Would it be people that are hidden inside the country going off? Or would it be something that they would do, some sort of event like, possibly putting the right explosive in the right place underwater? You don't know. What could trigger a Cascadia? I wonder that. Because there's a lot of pressure built up. They have scientists. I've covered all of the different kind of stories revolving around. There's now all these little spots opening up, bubbles coming up with heat spots. It's very creepy. Because when that happens, we will have a tsunami that goes from all the way up at the top into Canada, all the way down to the beginning of California, basically right where this line is. This is the end of it. So when they say it goes into California, it's right about there. That is terrifying. We're talking 100-foot waves, 10-story tall waves, and coming in within 15 minutes of it. So yeah, I would like to see the actual spot. I'll have to look that up because that is creepy. And then United Healthcare. Go ahead.
I'll get you the screenshot of it. I've got it right here. Hang on.
Okay, perfect.
And it's right there where you think it is. It's actually a little left, a little west of the point where the Marfoogle comes in at the end. But there's so many aftershocks in that area. It's all exactly where you're talking.
Is this? Do you already have it in there? Let's see. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, let me show you this. That is not good. I don't know why it's not hyperlinking. Hold on, I'll just copy it. Here. Put it in right here. Okay, check. Which one? Is it the blue one?
Yeah, the blue one, I believe, was the 7.0.
Okay, so right here is where the marker on the map was. This is the end of the Cascadia subduction zone. I forget what they call this other one right here, but this is at the very end of it. Yeah, that's not a good place to have a 7. It's not a good place to have an earthquake. You can see there's a lot of. What is the time frame on this, Dex? Is there a time frame on?
I can't. I mean, you can go to.
I hope this isn't just like all of these in a certain. I
think those are all the aftershocks, but they're all like 2s and 3s. But yeah, there's all just hammering that area. I just gave you one more image that's zoomed out, just so you can see the whole Marfoogle and see where at a bigger level where that location is and how it's dead center at the bottom.
Wait a second here. Does it look very similar? Let me see here. I think that's the same one, Dex. Like identical. That one looks different. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. This is much better. Look at this. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Yeah. So you can see this second red line, that's the Cascadia subduction zone. And when you go right here, that's the end of it. And they've also talked, I forgot what they call it. Was it a double earthquake? They've also talked about the potential for, get this, for, I think, was it a double rupture or a kangaroo? Was it a kangaroo? Oh, boomerang. A boomerang earthquake. A boomerang rupture, maybe? It's boomerang something. But reason why is, say it opens up on one end, goes all the way up to the top, and then starts doing it backwards and goes back down. That is our worst nightmare. I think it will be the worst disaster that the United States will see. It will make Katrina look like, like a one of those blower fans for a kid's blow-up play place. That's how big it will be. I mean, we're talking 9+ earthquake happening. Something out of the movies. That's how bad it will be. So get your stuff ready. If you're on the West Coast, I would definitely get yourself some backup power, whatever that may be. Gas generator, solar generator. Good thing about solar generator is if you can't locate gas, then you'll have, again, you can put your solar panels out and get power from that. And again, it's at least something that you'll have on basically for as long as you have days coming up. And then this whole United Healthcare CEO situation is just absolutely strange. It gets weirder and weirder. The bullet casings, if you don't know, just to summarize, United Healthcare CEO, this big guy, CEO of an evil corporation, or as most of us see any CEO of these giant health companies, got taken out on the street in Midtown Manhattan. The gentleman who did it walked up with a suppressed hand weapon. It looks like a suppressed, what they think is a .22 caliber, popped him in the leg, and then ended up popping him in the head. That
9 mil now.
It's a 9 mil now?
Yep, they confirmed 9 mil.
So that would take away the fact that it always jams. See, the 22, they guessed that because of certain people looking at it thinking it jams all the time. That podcast I was talking about, which again, that clip got shared more than anything else on this. 9 millimeter. Yeah, that's so the guy was gone. Then he takes off on a city bike, which is a rental bike. I always thought they were electric, but maybe it was a regular. I don't know. And then took off, went somewhere else with it. It was, and then they say that the shell casings had deny, defend, and depose etched into them. So it was a message, right? And they're kind of referencing this Jay Feynman book or the lawsuit, what was it again? Yeah, with many X indicating that the words point back to the 2010 delay, deny, and defend, why insurance companies don't pay claims and what you can do about it, in which author Jay Feynman exposes insurance injustice and a plan for consumers and lawmakers to fight back. They have also come out with articles stating that this gentleman was part of the decision, or CEO of the company, while they deployed an AI system and an algorithm to automatically deny claims or service to people that were sick. So, yeah, there's this angle, and immediately people are going, oh, this guy's angry. Maybe a family member perished. Maybe his mom or wife, perished. It really does give you almost a script out of a movie. I think they made a movie like this with like The Rock or something, where a guy had his wife perish and it was because of something that was totally preventable because the insurance wouldn't cover it. So he goes after the healthcare thing. I swear this was a plot to a movie. But either way, it looks very obviously like that. I am saying this guy was also, right before this, mentioned, and his company was mentioned in a probe for insider trading. If you don't know some of the other names that have been involved in insider trading, health would be very close related to, I don't know, say the Gov, and how there was question about this with certain politicians right around the area of 2021, 2022. Right after this happens, isn't it funny that we're all talking about potential pardons, blanketing pardons for several people involved in health? So I don't know. It's very creepy, but again, it's all speculation, right? Dex, isn't that funny? Like yesterday, over the last 2 days, this happens, and then now they're talking about pardoning for certain people. Remember when all the politicians, they were questioned about how they invested in certain companies right before they announced that that thing that you go in the side of your arm.
Yeah, they all do.
Right before it went live, and they said, it was mandatory for all people to get it for certain jobs and this and that. It's like, how obvious is that? And now these companies are the ones doing this. I don't know. I think it's still a professional. I think it's hook, line, and sinker to make it look like a literal plot from a movie where this guy is not a professional. I bet you it's going to come out that his wife or spouse or something happened there. If it is real and that is the case, then that's even messed up too. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Adam, what happens if this is real and it turns out to be a trend? And that's what's scary to think about, like that people start doing this because it's getting that bad. It's getting that bad in America that this becomes the norm. That's a scary thought, because that's the other thing is a lot of people are sort of like cheering them on or and saying there's all these other people that ought to be in that same camp, right? They ought to be not here anymore. And I get it. Like it's like who wants to love an insurance company, or an insurance company doesn't exist to make you happy. They should. I personally think that if the insurance company treated you the way a technology consumer company treated you, which wants to win and earn your business and make you buy their product and love it, like an Apple or a Samsung or whatever. Like, they make great products and they want you to buy them, right? You kind of understand that CEO makes good money, but an insurance company, they're like, deny, 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 as they say, right? And, nobody likes that CEO. Everybody's going to think he's evil.
I don't know. I think it's pretty shady, and just so you guys know, I am very happy. I have a good life and no weird thoughts. Just to let you know. And I think Boeing is a stand-up company too. Just to let you guys know as well that I totally changed my thoughts on the two gentlemen that perished accidentally or naturally. Sure. Gotcha. And by the way, this healthcare company, stand up. I mean, these guys are great. That AI, by the way, they did everything they could to make sure that it was absolutely the best picky AI they could. I mean, it really is. I mean, that AI goes to church every Sunday. Good AI. I mean, just really stand up. By the way, Vero Beach, Florida, I have noticed more Navy helos flying low, flying eastward. I have seen more here in Seattle. We have seen, and by the way, none of this stuff, none of these. Why is nobody talking about this? Here in Washington, at least, we're seeing jets flying low. It's not the summer. It's not right before, like, what do you call it? Memorial Day, or one of these things where we have the parades and all of that, and we have the Blue Angels. We are having jets fly over all the time now. At this point, I hear them more than I see them, too. You always know when it's a real jet, not just like a clear day and you get the big planes flying over. It's a jet. Got a really great look at one because it was super low over downtown Seattle during that power outage. There were multiple. They're doing drills. They're preparing. That's what I think. So, yeah. Thanks, Sweatin' Ministries. Says, good evening, Adam, Dex Mods, and Foogle fam. Hope all is well. Love your way. Thank you, Kenny Crowder, and thank you for still being here. Kenny Crowder, one of my oldest subscribers. I appreciate that. And then Sweatin' says, think you're being censored on here from all the connection issues. Yeah, and I apologize. Thank you guys for being patient. Inquiring Minds, love your dedication, Marf and Dex. It is easy to wait in chat with good people for you guys to come back. Yeah, that really sucked. And then Inquiring Minds, thank you. Everybody, thank you for being patient throughout the whole show. We are going to actively try hard. So tomorrow, hopefully we will not have any of these issues. We will see you tomorrow, and it will most likely be an earlier show, probably 5 or 6 o'clock. Again, there can't be a absolute schedule just because... first of all, I have to also work too. And then, of course, I have different things that pop up with my kids. So I appreciate all of you, part of this community, and thank you for standing up behind us. Love you guys. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out. Dex, thank you so much for your service today.
Much love. Great job, brother.
And again, just a quick reminder, make sure to go check out Harvest Right, again, because they have actually extended their Black Friday. Not all of the affiliates have, but again, Harvest Right, which has the best freeze dryer on the market, has extended that. So if you felt like you missed out, there were so many people that missed out that requested it. They have now extended it. So make sure to do so. There were a lot of Foogle families that said they missed out, so make sure to go check it out. Up to $900 off. If you are trying to get into, as far as freeze drying your own food, once you actually have the equipment, it is going to save you a ton of money. If you've seen the prices on freeze dried prepackaged foods, it's insane. I mean, one meal anywhere from $9 to $15. you could do it at a absolute fraction of the cost once you have it. And if you're trying to get 3 months, 6 months, 9 months of food, which is, DHS is actually saying that each American should have 6 to 12 months of food at all times right now because of a potential grid issue, then it's going to be very hard. If you have a family of 4, 5, 6, then yeah, that will cost you an absolute fortune. You might as well go buy another house. Again, go to marfooglenews.com/freeze. You can save up to $900 off. If you were waiting, I would say wait no more. All right. And I will see you guys later. Dex, again, thank you. And it is now time for the shoutro. It is not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. Thank you, everybody that made it through today's show all the way through. We're going to pop over to the chat. Thank you, Wages World. Thank you,